Hey, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Sell More Book Show, episode 646. We actually had maybe some numbering issues. I don't even know what was going on, but this is 646. It may be the second 646 you've heard. It is what it is. I'm really, really excited. I'm Brian Cohen from Best Page Forward and the Author Ad Agency. Very excited to talk to you today. We're going to be talking about street teams. We're going to be talking about all sorts of wonderful stuff. But it is the school year. Those of you who are parents who've had a kid at home or multiple kids at home all summer, welcome to maybe a little more freedom in your lives. I loved getting to spend wonderful amounts of time with my daughter this year, but it does not hurt to know she's getting educated and I have more time. I'm just happy about these things. So we have a webinar coming up on Thursday. This is a exciting thing. Only the second ever webinar we've done that I was not hosting. And the other one was an internal webinar only to our own students, run by Phoebe Ravencraft on Blurbs. This is our first ever to the whole community that Scarlett Moss is running in the entire community. And so I'm excited. It is How Do Amazon Ads Think? And so we are very excited to put this webinar on, and I will not be there. I'm actually going to be doing another webinar at that time with a wonderful group. And so that's on Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Be ready to go there. If you subscribe to my email list, you're probably getting emails about it. Let's face it. So go check that out. Question of the week this past week was, do you have any special methods for keeping motivated? Shez Churton says, I put £1 in a jar for every hour I spend writing. Then when I finish the book, I buy a completely ridiculous cake and spend the rest of the money spoiling the dogs, which really keeps me motivated to put in the hours. I love that. You deserve a ridiculous cake. Monica Esperan Rodriguez says, I'm happy to report that I have been following your previous advice, and now I reward myself with an appropriate price reward depending on the task I accomplish. For example, if I finish my weekly chapters, I buy myself flowers. Monica, thank you. I appreciate you listening to me on this. It has made a big difference for me in the last year, buying myself some nice gifts when I am finishing things or reaching a certain income level. Highly recommend it. Highly recommend it. Ann Bennett said, being around other authors and seeing their successes motivates me. I love attending live conferences, talking all things indie publishing, and even meeting with my local Raleigh writers group on a regular basis. That's awesome, Ann. Maybe I should pop by sometime. Obviously, Raleigh, not too far from me and very close to Scarlett. Awesome. Great answers to the question, everybody. You can always answer the question of the week over at the Sell More Book Show After Party Facebook group or at sellmorebookshow.com. All right, let's do this thing. Have streets ahead book launches by building a street team. One of the most common affordable marketing recommendations for authors is to build a good street team. Or is that an ARC team, alpha readers, beta readers? The terms get thrown around so easily that they may seem interchangeable, but they're not. And each of them play a different role in the success of your book. Luckily, starting with a street team can help you build the rest, says author Melissa Diamond, writing for BookBub. At its heart, a street team is a group of readers excited to share your book. They participate in launches, helping to spread the word about you and your new book through their own networks and channels. They typically get behind-the-scenes access, sneak peeks at covers and characters, plus opportunities for advanced reader copies, ARCs, and giveaways. Quote, a street team can support an author in other ways beyond sharing social media posts, says Diamond, end quote. Many become alpha and beta readers or join the ARC team. Alphas are readers who get the first glimpse of your book, taking a look at early ideas and rough drafts to spot with big things like structural issues. Betas get your book when it's nearly ready to go. They help you to know that your book resonates with your genre's ideal reader. And finally, there's the ARC team, Advanced Reader Team, which helps provide early reviews to book boost your book in online stores during your launch. There can be overlap too. Quote, over time, I found readers with different strengths. One was especially good at pacing and plot. Another was better at catching character development issues, Timon says. You don't have to build the perfect team all at once. Quote, let people show you where they shine. If you're starting from zero, begin small. Even a group of 5 to 10 readers can make a difference, end quote. For how you can get started, plus what to look for in your own street team, check out the article link in our show notes. Okay, I love this. I'm a big proponent of a street team. I talk about it in my book, Self-Publishing and Email Marketing. I think it's important to build up that list of reviewers and or alpha/beta readers. This is one of the reasons why I'm a big advocate of growing your email list on places like StoryOrigin or BookFunnel or any of those places. And then having an email in your email sequence that is pushing people to your ARC team. Just automatically, that you're automatically building your ARC team over time. And so I'm a big believer in that. And so I definitely agree with a lot of the stuff Melissa says here. And so here's the thing. What she's saying about different roles for different people, it's tough, right? Because you're kind of like the person in charge. You're kind of the person putting the right people in the right seats, but it makes a huge difference. And if you can find people for these roles, you're not doing it all yourself and you're not paying everybody for it. So, big believer in some of these tips. Hot potatoes of wisdom questions. What are some good ways to find people who'd be good for my street team? Do it in your email sequence. I usually do it in the 5th email in the sequence, and then quarterly send an email to your full list to remind them that that is an option for them. Second question. What's a good way to manage a street team so it doesn't take too much time and energy? I think it's all about the templates. It's all about scheduling ahead. It's all about batch processing. And if none of those things work for you, then it is all about hiring someone to do it for you. And those prices are not, they're not out of control. I've seen people spend like $150 to manage a launch ARC team situation. It doesn't have to be crazy. All right, third question here. What is the value or the differences between alpha and beta readers? Do I need both? I don't think it hurts. I don't think it hurts to have both. Alpha readers are telling you when something is very broken, like from the beginning. And that's helpful because if it gets all the way to the editor and it's really broken, it's going to be really hard to fix. So alpha readers are helpful for that. I used alpha readers for my fiction back in the day when I was writing that, 2016 or so. And I found that very, very helpful. Funny enough, one of my alpha readers for the original viral superhero series, Ted Saves the World books, is now a VP of marketing at Penguin. So claim to fame that a VP of marketing at Penguin was working on that. But I had the alpha readers to catch stuff early, and it was really, really helpful. Beta readers then can catch the medium, smaller things, and then it's not as much work for the editor or if you self-edit. So I definitely think it can be helpful to have all of the above. We're going into the lightning round. Chicka, chicka, chow, chow. The lightning's got its own sound. I see more authors using Substack and recommending it to others, but can it really sell books? I have seen Substack help some people to gather an audience. Much like with blogging, I see Substack being more valuable for people who are writing nonfiction. Could there be some benefit, kind of like Patreon has some benefit for fiction authors? Sure, it's possible. I thought I swallowed a lemon seed, so I needed a minute there. But I do think it's possible. I think that generally Substack and blogging like platforms like that tend to cater more towards informational nonfiction stuff. Tell me if I'm wrong though, guys. Email me, message me. I'd love to be proven wrong. So if you write nonfiction, it could be worth it, especially if you like writing these kinds of short informational blog posts. If you do, then you might enjoy Substack too. Second question, what's the best way to start separating my author business from my personal income and spending? When should I start? The sooner the better, certainly. For tax purposes, it's really helpful. So, one of the best things you can do is you can set up a business checking account at your bank, separate business checking account. It'll have its own checkbook, it'll have its own account number, and a business credit card. That's helpful for the ad costs, or if you pay your team members through PayPal, you can use credit cards for those. So here's the thing. There are lots of banks. There are regional banks, there are local banks, there are big banks. I like some of the big banks because I use the credit card points to pay for vacations and stuff. We went to Italy last year, or earlier this year. We went to Italy this year, mostly for free, on paying for the hotel and paying for the flights on credit card points. And so that's why I'm a big believer in like getting a checking account through something like Chase Bank, getting a credit card. They have some of the best points credit cards. That starting by having your money actually in a separate account and paying your expenses through a separate business card and or account, that's a great way to start. That is a great way to start. What is the most common next step that authors get wrong? So people who are trying to ascend, or trying to get to the next level, I think the biggest mistake I see is they feel this need that they have to do it as cheaply as possible because they heard someone else do it as cheaply as possible. I am a big believer in you spend money to grow, and spending money is a good thing. And my Renee Roseism, every dollar I spend comes back to me tenfold. I say it every Friday when I pay my team. Every time I click the pay button, every dollar I spend comes back to me tenfold. So the biggest next step I see authors getting wrong is trying to spend as much as they were spending to make $100 when they're trying to make $1,000. Y'all, that makes your life harder. It makes your life harder. What is a green flag in an author community and what is a red one? A green flag is positivity, is people really supporting each other. A lot of positivity and people supporting each other. A red flag is people taking other people down or talking crap about each other. So it's like the positivity angle on one side and the negativity angle on the other side. If you see a positive community, that's helpful. Another green flag is you see the people running that community really caring. They really care. Red flag would be the people who run the community saying bad things about other people. Those are some of my choice green and red flags. And lastly, how do I know if I'm scaling or just adding more work? So, revenue producing activities. Revenue producing activities are extremely important. They need to be prioritized. Sometimes when we're scaling, we add more work, but those pieces of work aren't necessarily producing more revenue. Obviously, writing and releasing more books is a revenue producing activity. Managing ads that are going towards those books can be a revenue producing activity. Trying to learn a new thing that you saw someone do that you might like doing, but you're not sure, and it's going to take 30 hours, may not be a revenue producing activity. And that last one goes out to my learners in the room. I know you love the learning, but you got to be careful. All right, we have come to the end here. I am going to ask a question here for the question of the week, which is, do you have a street team or ARC team, and how do you use it to get more reviews and sell more books? You can answer that question of the week over at the Sell More Books Show After Party Facebook group or at sellmore.com. bookshow.com. Putting that at the top of the episode here. Very, very glad that we got to talk today. Thank you so much for listening to the show or checking out the show over on YouTube or wherever else you might see it. I am very happy that we get to keep doing this show for you, no matter how many episodes we've done. We have no idea now at this point. We'll figure it out eventually. But I hope you have a great week of book selling, and we will talk to you next week for episode 647. Bye.